On today's Toy Spot, we're going to be looking at the Masters of the Universe 2000 series. This is Trapjaw. And I figured with Matty Collector and Mattel releasing the new Masters of the Universe Classics line that are based on the original 80s line of He-Man figures, I figured to commemorate the release of Trapjaw, which I believe is coming out in February, I'll hopefully be picking that up, to commemorate that, I figured I'd go back and do a review of the 2000 series Trapjaw. The packaging is very similar and very common with all the Masters of the Universe from this line. As you can see, it's sporting a red background with what I believe is a very cool, I like the blue Masters of the Universe logo up the top there. It's very well done, it's very bright, and I still think Masters of the Universe, this line has one of the best packages from the time period that these figures were out. It's very simple, it gets right to the point, and it's a very nice vibrant blue on the red. At the top as well, you can see awesome sticker included. Sold. But down below you can see Trapjaw. It says Evil Mechanical Menace. Also, a trend that wasn't very common at the time these figures came out. It includes an action chip and it works with Castle Grayskull playset. This was a trend that was more common later on with the Simpsons line of figures where they all could interact with their environments, but back in the day this was a very new idea. On the back of the packaging, a very nice packaging as well, and I know I've already said that, but we got a picture of Trapjaw up at the top here with all his many arm attachments. And funny that they put 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down below they've given us a little legend. So 1 is a claw, and then they've given us, I guess the other languages featured. Funny as well, and I want to point this out too. Number 2, if you read here, says laser pistol. It's a laser pistol, and they also want to remind you that it's non-working. So if your intent was to go out, wait for it. If you were going to go out, you're going to buy this figure, and you thought to yourself, this is perfect, this is perfect. I'm going to take the laser pistol, little laser pistol holding in my hand, I'm going to take it, I'm going to go rob a bank. And that was my intent, I was going to go rob a bank. It's not going to happen with this one, my friend. No, it's non-working. You're not going to rob any banks. You're going to have a piece of plastic. So, smart Mattel for pointing that out. The non-working laser pistol. The other figures in this wave, we have Teela, we have Orko, Smash Blade He-Man, we've got Triclops, Spin Blade Skeletor, and Trapjaw. Still, to this day, one of my favorite lines from this time period. The He-Man figures are very, very nice. Yes, they don't have really the articulation that the newer Classics line have, but figures such as Orko are so nicely sculpted. I don't know if I'll get around to reviewing the other ones of these, but needless to say, there's packaging. There is packaging on Trapjaw. What we'll do is we'll get this guy opened up, and we'll get a better look at the figure. So stay tuned, guys. And here's the awesome sticker that the Masters of the Universe figures come with. As you can see, you just peel them off. It doesn't, I guess you can peel it off. It almost just looks like a piece of cardboard, but there's the awesome sticker. I'll put that aside here for a second. And here we have Trapjaw. Now, unfortunately, Trapjaw is a very short figure, and I don't know if you guys can see scale-wise how big he is, but he is very short. And unlike the Masters of the Universe classic figures out, the articulation on these guys is very limited, but nicely detailed though. You can see I like the 2000 line, or the 2000 series of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Very I like the reinterpretation, especially with Trapjaw. I mean, the original Trapjaw had a very short arm, and you'll see that with the classic Masters of the Universe figure, a very short arm. What they've done then with the new the new He-Man figures of the 2000 wave was that they gave him very large arm, and it's almost as big as the actual figure itself. I really like that. I like that's a nice little detail. It's certainly a nice update to the original figure. I'll give you guys just a turn around here of all the stuff that he has. You can see as well, he's got a spring in his mouth. Come watch my channel, subscribe. He's still got the hook or the loop that the original Trapjaw had, and actually in the original 80s Trapjaw, the intent was they advertised it that you could put a string through it and you could actually have him, zip line down, which is kind of silly, but never owned the original Trapjaw. In fact, I didn't own very many of the evil villains of the He-Man toys. I really had more of the heroes than anything else. I think I had He-Man and I had Ram Man, Manny Faces, Stratos. I think I had Mecha-Neck as well. But I didn't own many villains. And Trapjaw actually would have been one of the villains I would have liked to have owned. Like I said, his arm, very, very large. Right now he's got his claw attached to his arm, but you can't actually take the claw out. And you can interchange it with a hook, if you so wish. Give him a nice long hook. Or you can also give him a gun, a plasma gun. And all of which make his arm very, very long indeed. There is also a peg on the back of the figure itself, and you can take one of the accessories and you can peg it into his back as well, if you want to do that. You can then take the other weapons, and as you can see, there is a hook on the hook. Stay with me, and you can actually hook it onto his belt, which actually is a separate piece, and it does move around a bit when you got the figure here. But you can actually put the other accessories on him. So he is one of the figures that when you're not using the accessories, you can actually put them on the actual figure. They're not just going to be sitting loose on your shelf. When I probably have this guy on display, it's very likely I'll have him with the hook. I think one of the things that's one of the accessories I like the most is I like the look of the hook. Very, very cool. In the way of his articulation, and I'll get the claw down here. In the way of his articulation, he has an articulated head, which again only moves left to right. As I've already mentioned, he's got the spring mouth. And this arm is a little bit better than this arm here. He has the ball jointed, I think it's a pin and socket joint. You can move it in and out, kind of back and forth. He's got a hinge in his elbow, which actually is a spring hinge, so you can fling the arm, or you can swing the arm back and forth. You can rotate this, but it's only just because it's pegged in that you can rotate it. The other arm, on the other hand, you can only move his arm in and out, back and forth. You can rotate the hand at the wrist. You can rotate the waist. And I think the most disappointing is the legs. The legs really only allow you to move the legs back and forth, and you can kind of move them in and out, but that's it. It would have been nice if they had put articulation in the knees and in the elbows. I know, it's an older line, but really, 2000, I mean, that's not really that old when you think about it, right? Overall, it's a nice looking figure. It is very short, yes, it is very short, and it's not really as articulated as the classics figures out now, but definitely a nice looking figure. And if you liked the 2000 reinterpretation, the new He-Man cartoon, then this is a figure to pick up. This figure, As nice as he looks, I would probably give him about a 6 or a 7, just because of the articulation, or the lack thereof. But a nice figure nonetheless. Looking very much forward to getting the Masters of the Universe Classics Trapjaw, but today we were looking at the 2000 series Trapjaw from the Masters of the Universe cartoon, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.